Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Office Bloke Daz.
I'm Office Bloke Mike.
I'm Office Bloke Max.
Here we are, all three of us.
Indeed
If
we
Patreon's
are.
your thing, check out the link in the description below. Loads and loads and loads of stuff on there, all starting for a bargain price of just
Look, £1.50
per month.
per month.
You go.
Yeah,
Bargain price, that is. Check it out.
Chips.
Why companies are firing Gen Z workers? It's lazy.
By the way, we've something to tell you, Max.
I was going to say, slip me a white piece of paper.
Put the microphone down.
Pink slip. No, it's I don't know. Gen Z workers. What are they? They're
You're
like
Gen
your
Z,
age.
aren't you,
I'm
Max?
Gen Z,
Yeah,
yeah.
right,
So
okay.
age, what is that? Born
19, I think it's 99.
99 to 2000 or something, is it? I'm not
To
sure.
20
2000 onwards, maybe.
2009, I want to say.
99 to 2009. Right.
Right, okay.
So that puts you, Aiden, all that sort
Yeah.
of like all in the same sort of
If
like
you're
category.
early 20s.
What year were you born?
2001.
2001, right? Aiden was 2003. I don't know why would they be, any ideas?
Well, there's a big thing about working from home now post-COVID. I know a lot of people well, you'll always get people older being like, oh, they don't work as hard, and things like that. And because it's the online age as well, it's different. So
Do you know what
I'm
I
guessing
think
a lot of people in their early 20s would have maybe started work during COVID. So
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
when probably their first jobs maybe were working from home.
yeah,
So
especially with COVID. I know people that didn't do GCSEs because of COVID.
Oh, yeah,
didn't
of
do A
course.
levels because of COVID.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
didn't finish the uni because of COVID.
So
So
just blaming it on that.
not blaming on that, but it kind of knocks everything down a few years.
I think what it is, I think it's just
Right,
pure
okay.
confusion. I think you wake up in the morning, you don't know if you're a fucking man, woman, fucking car door. Right?
Yeah.
Whatever you identify of that morning is what you go in work
Yeah.
as, and everyone's confused, so everyone just wants to fucking get rid of you.
I don't know. I think the vision of living to work these days, a lot of people work to live now
Right.
compared to live to work, more because of the economy and things like that.
Yeah.
So people aren't enjoying jobs as much, even though I'm happy. I enjoy working. I enjoy work
When you work, yeah.
when I work. But yeah, I enjoy it. I don't know unless I'm an exception, but I know a lot of people who like I myself. I still live at home with parents. Like a lot of people mid-20s still do now.
Yeah,
'Cause it's so hard to get a house.
Yeah, it is. It's very, very difficult at the moment. I think a lot of the time what you've got is, I think you're there, but the modern world now, a lot of people think it's easy to be like an influencer, let's say.
Yeah.
So they think that's what I'm going to do. And they think that's, gone are the days where people want to be a tradesperson or whatever, as an ambition to do all that
I
sort
think
of thing.
reality TV's had a lot to answer for
Correct.
in that sense
Yeah.
as well,
Yeah,
hasn't it? With all
maybe.
the different programs that they have, where they think you can just go on there, be a bit entertaining, and then they've got a job for life sort of thing.
Well,
Do you see what it is?
Yeah.
Why companies are firing Gen Z workers, Gen Z workers, however you want to pronounce the Z.
It's 9:17 and Brad is not just late for the 9 o'clock meeting, he's late for work. Brad's dress code screams anything but business. He's strutting into the office in a Supreme t-shirt and ripped jeans. And just when it couldn't get any worse, his sneakers are muddy from last weekend's hiking trip. In the meeting, Brad's long-winded explanations drag on and on, forcing everyone to cut him off before the room falls asleep. His technical skills are non-existent. He's got a master's degree, but when it comes to Excel, he's more lost than ever. He can swipe through TikTok, but can't find reply all in Outlook. Faced with real problems, Brad fumbles. Without a YouTube tutorial, his only problem-solving experience is pressing X to reload in video games. But the real kicker? Brad is so casual, it hurts. He strolls through the office like it's a coffee shop, high-fiving coworkers and calling the boss dude. Brad is the average Gen Z graduate, and like many Gen Z graduates, Brad will be out of the job within the first few months. In today's episode of the Infographics Show, we'll reveal the shocking reasons why companies are firing Gen Z workers. Supervisors are facing a hiring crisis when it comes to recent graduates, and the news is bad for Gen Z. More and more bosses are refusing to hire a new generation of workers. The situation has gotten so bad that even colleges have gotten in on trying to solve the crisis, with many schools now offering additional courses to specifically prepare students for a professional setting.
I think this is the way I see it as in business nowadays. He's right in what he's saying here about some of the Gen Z workers when they come in.
Yeah.
They're a little bit
Casual.
a little bit
Maybe.
laid back. Let's
Yeah.
say I quite like that though.
Yeah.
I'm of that generation where none of us wear. One of the first things I changed when we came in here, people had shirts, ties, and all that. I don't want to forget it. Lay off. We don't need shirts. It's not a shirt and tie environment.
Yeah.
So we bin that off. It's a very casual environment because that's the industry we're in.
Yeah.
So I think even when I go to meetings, I just dress very similar to this sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, it's but I also think we've got to be careful that we don't diss the Gen Z generation too soon, because they're going to be the next people we rely on.
Oh yeah, they still will be. Simple as that.
And it's going to it's changing to suit their needs, not changing to suit the older needs of people like us.
I guess so. I think in the business world it is getting more casual anyway, isn't it? Definitely, you don't see three-piece suits and ties.
You see when people come to see
as
us.
much.
No, it's very rare. You see anyone that comes to see us.
It's a lot more casual, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know.
But even if people do come to see us, I always say to them, remember our dress code. It's not business time. So don't come all suited up thinking you're coming in our offices and everyone's going to be suited up. You're going to look a bit out of place. Yeah. If you come in your suit, just dress down when you come to visit us. Yeah. But I think we've got to also cater to them to let them give their ideas across, because sooner or later it will transfer to that method of work.
Yeah. I guess so. Yeah.
A recent survey of almost 1,000 business leaders at the forefront of the business, technology, and science sectors revealed that 1 in 6 companies are now hesitant to hire a recent college graduate. The survey asked specific questions about hiring practices, demographics, and reasons for satisfactory or unsatisfactory outcome. While 94% of companies reported hiring recent college graduates, only 25% said those hires were a success. The rest were either unsatisfactory or a total disaster. 3/4 of companies stated that they were outright dissatisfied with their Gen Z hires. But it gets worse. 3/5 of companies reported firing their Gen Z hire within a year. This has left a bad taste in the mouth of the business leaders across industries. The biggest complaint was that college graduates are unprofessional and poorly prepared to work, with many being overwhelmed by challenges in the workplace. Has Gen Z been coddled to the point they are no longer hireable? According to the Society for Human Resource Management, the average hiring success rate is right around 43%. That means that 43 people out of every 100 hired will actually work out long-term for the company. But when you look at the intelligence survey, the situation for Gen Z is even more worrying. 6 out of 10 companies surveyed reported having to fire a Gen Z worker, putting Gen Z hiring success rate significantly lower than the average. Houston, we have a generational problem, and it's bad enough that many Gen Z workers might have trouble landing and keeping jobs because of it. So let's get into the issues behind Gen Z's apparent lack of hireability.
Blame game for me.
I think so.
Blame everyone else but themselves.
Yeah, maybe.
I can see that. Yeah.
You know, it's no one taught us how to do that. No one showed me how to do that. I didn't know how to do that. You didn't say that.
Yeah.
You know, it's all things like that. That's what I've come across. That's what I've witnessed. You didn't tell me to do that. I shouldn't have to tell you. They're not one of them. It's a lot of there's a lot of stereotypical things. When he's talking there about PowerPoint and things, like PowerPoint's still a thing. Someone got out PowerPoint and started showing me, like, mate, put it away. Just tell me.
Exactly.
So I don't think people still use PowerPoint.
I've
not seen it for ages. In a
presentation.
presentation.
Really?
For presentations for marketing and things like that.
Yeah, but I mean, I've not seen it. I think there's more other things now that people use.
I guess there's more modern things now, isn't there? Must be.
Yeah,
absolutely
especially
must
with
be.
AI and all that now, and ChatGPT and stuff like that.
True. Well, maybe that's another reason as well. Relying too heavily on technology. I know, it's a bit weird for me because I'm in it's a specialist field being in social media, and it's not the same as being in a corporate.
You are
office.
special, mate.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. I'm going to take that the right way, not the wrong way.
Maybe it's the ones that want the PowerPoint doing though. Maybe they're the ones that are stuck in the past.
Yeah, there's a lot of people.
Gen Z ones can maybe do it in a different way or maybe a better way, but the ones that are hiring them aren't changing themselves. They're stuck on like PowerPoint and Excel and all the old, the old programs where maybe the Gen Z. Maybe they're just moving on and got maybe they know that way.
Clash between the generations.
Yeah, absolutely could be. Yeah.
Well, the world's changed a lot in the last 15, 20 years, hasn't it?
If you said if you told a Gen Z kid to give you a presentation nowadays, I think they do it in a video format.
Probably, yeah.
I got the other day. I got a message. When someone leaves you a voice message, I got a message. It was a video, and I was like, "What the?"
Really?
Like, what? On my email.
Right.
He'd emailed me a voice call message.
Yeah.
But he was videoing himself and he was showing me something. What he wanted to show me. And I'm like, that's the first time I've ever seen that. He was a young kid.
Was he?
And I was well impressed. I was like, he had me attention.
Yeah.
Interesting. When I was at the end of uni, before I got the job with you guys, I made a video cover letter to sort of summarise what I could do. I mean, obviously specialist field editing, things like that. But the reception was really good.
Yeah.
It went, oh, that's an
It's
issue.
engaging.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, it will be.
So
Yeah.
the first thing I look at, as soon as someone gets a PowerPoint out, I look at see how many slides they've got. And if it's more than a water park, I'm like, nah, fuck it, I'm out. You've lost me already.
Well, and the lack of being concise.
Yeah.
And just get to the point.
Yeah, it's too long. People just use it as an excuse, and it's the older people who use it thinking,
Waffling,
if I talk for an hour, that means I'm doing something.
Yeah.
But it doesn't.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, the attention span of Gen Z nowadays, like again with things like TikTok, and it's now half of what it is. So you've got to be really concise and
Get to the point.
Yeah, exactly.
A whopping 9 out of 10 companies surveyed reported that Gen Z desperately needed further etiquette training. Across the board, the prognosis is clear. Gen Z does not know how to operate in a professional environment. Good workplace etiquette is key for productivity and harmony. It's about understanding how to navigate professional relationships. This includes knowing when to use formal titles, being aware of sexual harassment policies, and proper communication, both on the phone and online. Gen Z tends to treat its workplace and correspondence like it's a Discord chat room. Memes and emojis are great for Reddit and Instagram, but not so much for your 9-to-5. Imagine losing your job because you responded to an email with a handsome Squidward gif. Knowing how to dress is just as important. Most workplaces go for business casual, a more relaxed version of a more formal attire you might see at a law firm. Business casual can be dressed down to jeans, but only if paired with a nice button-up shirt and nice clean shoes. Wearing graphic t-shirts and dirty sneakers is definitely a no-go. If you're part of Gen Z, you should treat the workplace like you're dressing for a date. You want to make a good impression without being creepy by wearing a full suit. A lack of professionalism was a reason that Gen Zers didn't work out 46% of the time. Other issues included a serious lack of motivation or initiative, with half of all companies surveyed, almost 500, stating that their Gen Z employees needed close supervision and showed little drive to take charge. This might be due to the culture shock Gen Z is experiencing moving from a perpetually online life to a professional workplace. It could also be that Gen Z is the most vocal about how exploitative industries can be. While their online existence may have dulled Gen Z's preparation for a professional setting, it's also increased their awareness of the many pitfalls of modern industry. Gen Z questions things like why cover letters are still a thing, why salary information isn't displayed on a job listing and not kept secret, and wages overall have not kept pace with either cost of living or the value of industry since the 1970s. Hiring managers may find Gen Z more motivated if the American dream wasn't officially unreachable for most of them because boomers sucked it dry decades ago and left a mess in their wake. But there's still some very legitimate criticism to be made of Gen Z. 39% of surveyed companies stated that Gen Z employees lacked good communication skills, which is ironic for a generation that spends hours screaming into headsets on Call of Duty. When most online lobbies devolve into a shouting blame game with a healthy sprinkling of racism and homophobia, it's easy to see why Gen Z communication skills might be glitching. This ties in with 38% of companies who reported that Gen Z was overly sensitive and struggled with professional feedback. The online world turned every disagreement into a zero-sum ego battle, and now Gen Z treats feedback like a boss just nerfed their favorite weapon. Even more troubling for Gen Z is the fact that 34% of new hires showed bad problem-solving skills, which is odd because video games are supposed to make you better at that. But it turns out real-world problems aren't like following a quest marker in Skyrim, especially when you can't communicate properly. A staggering 30% of employers say Gen Z lacks basic technical skills, struggling with Excel and Word, programs that are as old as their parents. This decline in ability is blamed on access to mobile devices and cloud-based editors like Google Docs, both of which means Gen Z doesn't know how to navigate menus of word processing programs or engage in even simple formatting tasks.
He's going to tell us in a minute that Gen Z, because they can't use the typewriter, right? That's what it is. It's a lot of the stuff here. It's like, I don't know. When you look at some of the most successful companies in the world now, your Googles, your Apples, and look at you go past their offices and headquarters and look how their staff behave.
Yeah.
You know, again, very smart attire, but very casual.
Yeah.
In the way, in the whole approach to it. Come in what time you want. It's not, the world's got to change from a 9 to 5 sort of like environment, I think.
I think get the work done.
I
think flexi time is a bigger thing these days than it used to be. Anyway, it used to be like 9 to 5 and that's it. So I think some companies are a lot more flexible these days, aren't they?
These things, there's lots of things that crop up in the average day. For the 9 to 5, so 1960s, I think. Like very out of date. And I think there's lots of stuff that crop up in a day that you know, you want parents to go out and work. So parents then they've also still got to care for children that are at school.
Yeah, so
kids are going to be ill. Kids are going to get, you know, into trouble. Kids are going to, whatever kids do, you're going to have to field that problem every single minute of every day. Sort of thing. You can't just rely that the kid's gone. I'm just going to crack on with my 9 to 5 job. I walked past an insurance. I went out before, just to the town centre. And I walked past, it's like an insurance company, and they all sit there in the window. It's bizarre. You know what I'm saying? Proper bizarre. When I walk past, I make them feel proper awkward. I just stare at them. I just walk past staring in.
So what, opposite Nando's?
Yeah. I just walk past staring in at them. And you see them all, none of them can make eye contact with you. They're all quite young, aren't they?
Yeah.
They've all got full suits on, sat in the window on computers on like headsets, selling like shit insurance.
Isn't it? Yeah.
I just make them feel uncomfortable. It's one of the weirdest things I've ever seen.
It's a bit. You know, this bit about communication skills, I think a lot of that is down to the fact that a lot of communication is online these days and not so much. Because when we were younger, we had absolutely nothing like that. All of our communication was face to face, wasn't it? With your friends and mates and families. It was all face to face, wasn't it? Now a lot of it is online, doing it when you're playing games online and social media. So maybe communication skills aren't quite up to scratch in that sense.
I think that, but
I don't know.
The technical stuff, I don't know if I agree. 30% of them don't lack technical skills.
I think probably more. I think probably more technical than ever.
I think they're saying definitely. Like the Microsoft Office package, but like when I finished high school, we had a full 2-week training course on Microsoft Office, and I've got a certificate for it or whatever. But that I don't know. Sorry guys. But surely that comes down to that goes back to education then. That's not to do. Yeah, but
again, these are, you hit the nail on the other day. So these are software programs that are so that are older than your parents, which they are. They're so out of date.
That's what I'm saying about PowerPoint and Excel. You know, they are that old, aren't they?
But you've got, like you say, you've got Google. You've got a lot of Google the stuff now that you can use. It's miles better.
Yeah.
You know, there's certain things I use on my phone where people go like, you know, you're on your phone a lot. And I'm like, I'm working.
Yeah.
I'm doing stuff on my phone. That it's like I'm using my phone as what it should be.
Yeah.
It's a full multi-use device. So I'm not watching games. I don't play games on my phone.
Yeah, which is what we've pretty much alluded to before. Maybe it's the fault of the older people at these companies rather than the Gen Z, rather than the new ones. Maybe it's them that are stuck in the past a bit and need to modernise.
But even if I'm sat there doing nothing, I'm always trying to figure out how a new app works. Yeah. So yesterday I went on an app that was like, you know, it's probably out of date now anyway, what I'm doing, but I'm trying to like take stuff off a picture. And I'm like, it's a new thing. I mean, it's just on my new phone now. And I'm like, I'm fucking removing everything out of pictures. I'm like, whoa, I'm a genius at it now. It's almost to the point of just green grass.
You should have just pulled your trousers up before the picture was taken, shouldn't you? Would have been a lot easier.
Took ages to get rid of that, mate.
Ironically, despite being the first digitally native generation, Gen Z is also showing a dramatic decline in typing skills, thanks to an over-reliance on mobile phones and autocorrect features where the spelling just needs to be in the ballpark. If you think we're making any of this up, Reddit is full of posts of Gen Z not knowing how to use various computer programs or even computers themselves. And the complaints range from around the world, not just making this an American or even Western issue. But it's not entirely Gen Z's fault. Colleges and high schools are increasingly failing to prepare students for the challenges of the modern workplace. Previous generations had mandatory typing and basic computer classes, giving them a solid foundation. But today, many schools have cut these programs, assuming Gen Z's familiarity with tech means that they don't need formal instruction. While Gen Z might be digital natives, much of their knowledge is informal and self-taught, leaving them high and dry. Recently, California made it mandatory for public students to undergo typing classes, much like their parents had to in order to graduate. Gen Z is also suffering from a critical social skills problem, likely fueled by their online lifestyle, where direct human-to-human interaction is rarer than ever before. This is growing into what is increasingly being called a dating crisis, as Gen Z fails to make meaningful romantic connections. Online culture may allow you to play with people all over the world, but real-world interactions still matter. A survey by psychologist Andrew Thomas showed that the feeling of being left out amongst teens grew from 13% in 2018 to 30% in 2022. Gen Z is outright avoiding in-person social interactions. A Center for Disease Control survey showed that teenagers are more risk-averse than ever before, with less rates of smoking, drug use, drinking, physical fighting, and even sex, showing a downward trajectory in all categories since 1990.
There's your problem.
Get smoking.
Not getting enough.
Sex, drugs, rock and roll.
Bring it back. Yeah.
No. God, one of the days, when's AIDS going to come back? Things like that. You know what I mean? Don't know the dangers of life.
Yeah, all these vaccines sorting it out for you.
Put a plaster on your knee and pat you on the bum and away you go. Right? Jesus.
That might sound like a good thing, but the bad side is that teenagers today are attending fewer in-person gatherings, such as house parties, than ever before. And a whopping 59% of Gen Z males report not having approached a potential partner in person for the last year when the survey was taken. The trend is clear. Gen Z is less social than ever, despite spending most of their lives on social media. And this is making them worse at everything that a professional workplace requires out of them. Despite playing more video games than ever before, something that's proven to improve problem-solving skills and critical thinking skills, Gen Z is actually struggling with these skills in a real-life setting. Skill sets suited for video games are proving to be a poor fit for most professional jobs, though there are industries where Gen Z thrives, reflecting their unique upbringing. The question on every hiring manager's mind is, what do we do now? As the world becomes ever more digital, the hiring crisis is only set to grow. While typing and computer familiarization classes in schools is a great start, it doesn't solve the fundamental problem with Gen Z's lack of social skills, problem-solving abilities, and low personal initiative. The future of industry is extremely uncertain, and this should worry everyone. Now go check out Millennials.
Interesting.
I think the only thing, you just got to coach them. Is the way I say it. Coach them into being what you think the company needs. If that's the way you're looking from a company perspective, you got to give them a chance. It's you can't just sort of like say they're not doing this, they're not doing that.
Yeah.
What he was saying there, or what the survey alluded to, for me, was just like, was it a certain industry?
Yeah.
Was it law or a doctor or one of them type
You do
things?
get a feeling it's definitely like an office-based type of thing, don't you? You know, maybe a corporate environment. That's what I got the sense of from it anyway, without a doubt.
Because a lot of these corporate ones now, you're at that age now where I'm into my early 50s, you're in your 50s.
Yeah.
Max is in his early 20s, and we've got kids who are in their early 20s.
Yeah.
And I look at it and thinking, these people in business that are older than us, and I look at them as dinosaurs. And I think you're just never going to change, and they're quite happy to have that level playing field of a business that's just consistent. Yeah, it's never going to be bad and it's never going to be good. It's just consistently average.
Yeah,
and a lot of people, they still bring a briefcase. And it's like, I can't remember last time. Did they even still sell briefcases?
I guess they do, but again, a bit of a thing of the past, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
especially over here, I think. Anyway, but even when I go around town and I walk in the centre of Manchester, and I look round at people, how they're dressed and what they're carrying and what they're wearing and all that kind of stuff, and you look for that business attire, it's all the old people who are dressed the same. Yeah. And the younger generation have sort of like not taken that on board, and the older people don't like it. Yeah, because it's changed.
Yeah, it's different, isn't it? And they're not comfortable with it. Not comfortable with new sort of technology and things like that.
And it's all right saying to a Gen Z person, or a Gen Z person saying, "Oh, can you do this in Word?" And you go and but at the same time, they're saying, "Can you also show me how to use this Facebook device I've got on my phone," sort of thing? And you're like, which one is it? Yeah. Do you want me to do this or that? Because you can't do that. Yeah, and it works both ways. Technology is moving so fast that the older generation are quite happy to use the older software and go, oh, let's slow down a little bit. Yeah,
so playing it safe.
You imagine going into a car dealership to buy a car, and the car dealer going, okay, I'm going to bring up this PowerPoint on how this works. And I said, no, I just want to get in it and drive it. Yeah. That's all I want to do. Just get the keys. Let's go. Yeah. I'm not asked about what you're going to tell me about it.
It's a car, it's for drivers. Let's have a drive.
If I'm not interested, I probably would have done my own work on it already. Yeah. So I'm not going to go in to buy I'm not going to go in to buy a Ford Escort and then turn out and look around at that new Jag and go, oh, that looks nice. Yeah. Tell me about that. Yeah.
I think you sort of pretty much made your mind up before you go in, haven't you? Yeah, pretty much.
I'm just using that as one example. But the modern kid will know all about everything that how to find that information, where to find that information, how to display that information, how to get that information onto a readable document, what someone else wants to see. Yeah. Right. But if it's being creative, the younger generation are miles more creative than the older generation.
I think so. Yeah,
you've got to let them be, and don't get rid of them. Train them, coach them. Yeah. To what you need,
and learn off them as well.
Correct.
Learn off them.
Yeah. I mean, having sort of be more creative, you got to treat it in a different way. Well, I know a lot of creatives, especially in this industry, they don't work 9 to 5. No. They have hours of hyper focus.
It's not a night. Yeah, exactly. Hours. Yeah, exactly. And I think hyper focus comes now. And the kids nowadays, then even when I look at my kids, when I look at you, when I look at kids, your kids maybe, kids don't live that dinners at 5, lunches at 12, breakfast is at 9. They've gone. Yeah. I see Aiden sometimes having his dinner at like midnight. You know, and he's up till 4 a.m.
Yeah.
doing whatever he's doing, right? But then he's back to work the next day. What time he thinks he should be back in work?
Yeah.
To get things done. He knows what he's got a schedule. He knows what he needs to get done.
Yeah.
But he works a lot quicker than other people I've seen in a similar sort of like not necessarily the same job, but in a similar industry.
Yeah. Right,
So I think you do as well. You work a lot quicker than a lot of people I see. And I think, you know, his method of working. And how many times have we said, if it's done, what are you going to do? Just sit there? Get creative. Do something else. Go and use your time to do something else and be creative.
Yeah.
Don't just fucking sit there and do nothing and play in a game or, don't know, a game. Maybe people might relax. I go to the pub to relax.
Yeah.
Kids go and play a game to relax.
That's it. It's different,
It's no
isn't
different.
it?
It's just a different choice.
Yeah, just a different way of doing things, isn't it? There's nothing wrong with that at all.
I think the Gen Z and the kids of today are miles better than what we were.
I think so, yeah.
It's just a very, very heavy clash of maybe finding the issues with the old style and then trying to treat it with the new requirements.
Yes,
if you're
definitely,
not up for change, you'll never move on. You'll always be that old guy that everyone looks at and goes, change, mate.
Exactly.
I try and learn every day from what you do, from what everyone does around you.
Yeah.
And pick up traits and think, that's a good idea, you know.
That's it.
But
if it's a good idea, it's a good idea, isn't it? So pick it up and go with it.
None of us started off fucking running 100 mile an hour.
No, absolutely.
Not in the business world anyway.
No, we can all learn, can't we? We can all still learn as well, you know.
So if you're Gen Z like that and you're getting binned off, give us a shout. We'll take you on. Hope you guys enjoyed that as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll catch you on the next one.
Cheers.